Peace and welcome to Urban Evolution Lifestyle. I'm Lord Victorious. Today I want to speak a little bit about the value of truth. Just a brief analysis. Value. In a dictionary, value is defined as that which is useful, that which is valuable. With that in mind, let's continue. Originality is one of the greatest benefits of truth possible. You can't even tell a lie until you know the truth. That means the lie is founded upon the truth. The truth is the origin. So when you possess the truth, you are in connection with the origin point concerning whatever subject you're dealing with. And the truth about anything and everything existed before everything else about it existed. So basically stating that if there's a lie that exists about a particular person or subject, then the truth existed about that before the lie. So when you're in contact with the truth, you are devoid of distortion. You're not distorted or misled or misdirected in any way. Another thing about the value of originality with truth is that when you align your thoughts, your speech, and your behavioral habits with the truth that you know to be, for instance, you know this is true. So it's no point in really fake kicking it like you don't understand that that's true. And then you stand on that truth like, nah, this is the truth is that this is right. And that I wouldn't want anyone to treat me like that. So the highest truth will start moving into the realms of what's called morality, which is simply the science of right and wrong. What makes something right is simply whether or not we would want that done to us. So it's right to do it to someone else or say it to someone else if we would like them to say that to us in the way that we say it or do it to them. And when you're in that state where your thoughts are aligned with that truth and you living according to that, you're in a pure state of being, because nobody will be able to get any impurities off of an individual who is in alignment with truth in this type of way. So now we're looking at the personal power that you can get from possession of the truth. The confidence which the consciousness of truth brings. Like, truth is something that when we become conscious of it, like these truths that we become conscious of, they already existed before we start dealing with the subject. It existed for a generation, it existed before our generation, and a generation before them, and all of the generations before all of them. So therefore, we know that it's a confidence. This is just a frequency that we can align ourselves with. Confidence, what I'm referring to here, the frequency that we can align ourselves with by possession of the truth. Fearlessness always have had a relationship with truth. People that have possessed truth have started to become very fearless. They became very brave. They started to speak the truth, and the truth could only be beneficial not to the person with the truth. The truth is the most beneficial to the person who didn't have it, because it gives them a different type of mental clarity, sight, and freedom. Okay, immunity to deception and trickery. That is just another one, like not wanting to be misled or misdirected or tricked at any point or deceived. Like, I know the truth. Like, I have all of the facts about this, and I have weighed them myself and understood what these facts actually represent. So this is a type of superpower. The truth is actually a type of superpower. Like, okay, now it's also divine. The truth is divine because it's the only real way to get closer to your origin, and your origin would have to be divine. You're not a demon. Your origin has to be divine. Now, we can get further away from this origin, because to understand that origin, you understand that the same force that keeps you alive is the same force that keeps the person that you consider to be your enemy alive. It's an interesting concept, because the same force might have the same value for you, right? The same force that makes your heart beat may have the same value. What is it? Is this a lesson that's meant to be learned here versus a conflict that needs to occur? Maybe the conflict is within self sometimes. So anyway, the only real way to get closer to your origin is to search for the ultimate truth about that origin, right? What is the truth of your origin, right? What was the truth of the moment of your origin? You see what I'm saying? So then what is it to be original? So it's the understanding that you get closer to the most original point that you could be at is the moment of your origin, and that which is divine. So therefore, because there's every origin point is said to be from God, the source, the creator, right? So therefore, the only way to get closer to this source or creator or God or that To bring yourself into divine energy is to search for the truth about it. Because you don't search for it, how will you find it? It has no beginning or ending. But exists will always be true in some way. Thus making the truth eternal, right? It has no beginning or ending, right? 2 plus 2 is 4 right now. It'll be 4 2 million years from now, 200 million years from now. It'll be 4 2 million years. Going backwards, 200 million years ago, 2 plus 2 is 4 still. So truth has no beginning or ending, and what exists will always be true in some way, right? Thus making the truth eternal, right? Because even if it doesn't exist anymore, but we say, hey, it exists just for this particular purpose, then we're still saying that it does exist and it once existed, so it's true that it once existed, so therefore it's always true in existence. Therefore, truth is the continuous present. Truth is energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only changed in form and appearance. It cannot be created or destroyed, only changed in form and appearance. This is interesting also, because when you think about the fact that energy flows the way that it does, based on intention, positive or negative, mind directs energy, right? So truth is energy, right? You were being deceived, and when you learn the truth, it was a different energy. Truth is always pure energy. Your energy became centered in what's purity. The purest state is to be focused on your own development. Focused on your own development as an individual, like to reach the strongest version of yourself, the wisest version of yourself, the most healthy version of yourself, the most centered and peaceful version of yourself, yet the most strong version of yourself. Truth is also heavenly or pure, or just the most high. Those who possess truth gain entry into the upper room. The upper room, in order to go higher, you deal with pluses. The pluses, symbol for pluses is a minus, addition sign. So we're adding. So in order to deal with the most high, you're dealing with positive, because that's the symbol for positive. So it's positive energy that gets you into heaven and brings you into a pure state where you are vibrating as the most high, one with the most high energy. It's always about a most high energy, not a most high person that you can't become one with. It's a most high is a state that you become, not something that you pray to. Those who possess this truth about the particular subjects will gain entry into the upper room. And the subject is self, period. Now let me say this. We don't actually possess truth like a gun or a knife. We simply become conscious of the formulas of truth, right? If you learn the truth about something, we can describe that something with a word. So everything that has its own word, which is pretty much everything, because everything has its own word for it, right? That's something that we become conscious of when we learn that word. And when we become conscious, we assign everything that we know about that word or that thing which the word represents, the idea in the mind, by means of using that word. Okay, so here's some interesting facts about truth. There are two classes of truth. There are higher truths and lower truths, such as truths about mind and truths about matter. Okay, so a higher truth is also known as an absolute truth, meaning it's absolutely true regardless to whom or what. So he says it's absolutely true that all things began from thought. And we know this because everything is pretty much useful, and the only thing that can create something according to the need for it or its usefulness is that being which can think and determine potential problems and think of solutions to resolve those problems. So therefore, we are understanding that all things began from thought, including the sun, moon, and the stars, because they serve a purpose, and only that which can think can create something to serve a purpose. So therefore, we understand that whatever created the sun, moon, stars, which we will not get into right now. We're going to discuss that in future videos. However, lower truth is also known as relative truth. It's relative to the mind state, the time, and the space. So it's relative to mind, time, and space. Right? So basically saying that, there was this girl that I used to know, and when I was 19, she was in love with me. And by the time I was 26, she hated my guts. And by the time I was 31 again, she was in love with me again. So that's relative to the mind state, the time, And look at some of the dangers of not knowing the truth. You know, because sometimes people think you can only pay penalties for what you do, but you can also pay penalties in life for what you don't do, and you should have done it. So now you can be deceived or tricked if you don't know the truth. Like, let's say you want to go north, and you say, hey, which direction is north? And I say, hey, it's that direction, and it's actually south. Then you can be tricked because you don't know the truth. So, right, the truth is your shield, your shield, your armor, in other words. So you're vulnerable without the truth, right? Because you don't have your shield or your armor. So you can be misdirected, and if you don't like being vulnerable as much as I don't like being vulnerable, then this makes a lot of sense to you why you would want to definitely make sure you're always in possession of the truth. You're powerless when you're in the blind. I mean, if you don't know the truth about a particular reality, right? A particular situation, circumstance, event, topic, issue, then that you're in the dark, basically, right? Because the truth is the light, right? Which shows you the way, right? So basically, being that the truth is the light, which does show you the way, you're just powerless and you're blind because you don't have that light. So you can't, even if somebody was conspiring against you and you don't know, you're powerless in that situation to do anything about it. You don't have any position, no foundation to operate from, no position, no definite place or purpose. So now that's what the truth gives you. These are some of the things the truth gives you. But let's get back to what the dangers of not knowing it. You have no position to speak from. In a conversation, you have nothing to say. What can you talk about, realistically? What can you actually talk about? You don't know any truth about this subject at all. And basically what I'm saying is the truth is the information, right? Truth is information, right? Now, truth is definitely in formation. That is true. It is in some type of formation because a thought is nothing but an energy configuration within our energy fields. However, let's understand this. If you have truth, you have information, but all information is not true. So therefore, we must understand that this is how you get viruses, right? You can compute what I'm saying, so your mind is a computer in some ways. And as a computer, it can catch a virus. So you have to understand that a virus is just corrupted data. In other words, what I'm saying, a virus in this case would be a lie. So you have no position to speak from. You can't say anything that's true. And that takes your position away. Also, which is some of the worst parts, you're going to make decisions which will have reactions based upon falsehood, such as you believe your spouse is cheating on you and you challenge it. So basically, to benefit from the truth, you must first stop struggling against the truth when it's spoken. Some of y'all go to squirming because you're on the wrong side of the truth. It's like in the Bible what Jesus said, blessed is he who is not offended by my words, right? So you must accept the truth as a fact and align yourself with it. Be on the same side of it. Don't do things that when other people speak the truth, you feel condemned by, So this is one way you can benefit from the truth. You can align yourself with it, and now there's nothing anyone can say about you that isn't already obviously true about you. So that creates, you don't have those impurities by which can be used against you all over your energy field. Okay, the way to benefit from truth, one way is to make preparations, that you can now make preparations because you're conscious of this truth that there are potential threats or dangers that exist that can, potentially create a problem in the future. And now it's not creating a problem now, which allows you some time to be able to think of an action plan and an advent that those things were to come to pass. So that's one way to benefit from knowing the truth about a potential future. You can know the truth about others' intentions. You can know the truth about a lot of things, but these are just some of the ways that you would benefit from knowing the truth, You must examine the truth of your past. What is the truth about your past? Why was it the way that it was? What the condition of your past, the truth of it? What is the condition of your present? And what is the truth about that condition? How are you connected to it? And what is the truth about the future that you will experience and find yourself living in? And how are you prepared for it? These are ways you can benefit from the truth. So you must have the discipline and the character strength To do what you see needs to be done with no emotional attachments holding you back from progress. That's how you benefit from the truth, because if you already know the truth, then now the last part is to have the discipline and the character strength to do what you see needs to be done. You know, you could see what needs to be done, but you must do. So it's not about seeing or knowing at this point, or knowledge or understanding. It's about doing. It's about the wisdom with no emotional attachment. So it's like wisdom without emotion. Right? So this is precise movement, in other words. That's how you benefit from truth. You become the embodiment of that which would make a decision just based on the facts rather than getting trapped by the emotions of everything. I want to thank you all for watching. Once again, Slow Victorious Urban Evolution Lifestyle. Subscribe if you got something from it.